How's it going, everyone? It's been a while since I posted on this channel. I apologize. I ended up breaking both of my wrists, so that is why it's been a couple of months since I have uploaded a video. In that time, I have gotten a number of messages asking on how to drop the mid-drive motor on the Aventon Ramblas. It's actually pretty easy, so I just thought I'd make a quick video just for the people who were curious. Starting out, it's just going to be this plastic cover right there, which actually covers all of your kind of motor cables. There's another kind of plastic cover under the mid-drive motor, and then there is going to be 6 bolts that actually hold the motor in place. So let's check out what tools we actually will need. You really only need 3 tools. So you'll need a Torx 40, so a T40, a T10, and then a 2.5 millimeter Allen key. We'll go over kind of what these are all for. So obviously the T40, we're gonna pop off all of these bolts that hold the motor on. First, starting out, we'll take these plastic covers off. So you're gonna have 2 T10 bolts sitting right here. So we'll pop these out real quick. And you will want to be very careful with these. Pretty much every bolt on these, they are pretty easy to strip out. And they do have a little bit of Loctite on them. So don't be alarmed if it is a pretty tight, pretty tight fit. So that will just pop off there. And then you have all of your different plugins right here. For the motor, we'll then pop off the bottom kind of skid plate. And that's going to be with a 2.5 millimeter Allen key. So you'll have one of the screws here in the back. Got one of them up front here. And then I'll pop over to the other side. Same on the other side, just kind of one on the bottom and then one on the back. And again, these are pretty easy to strip out as well, so you will want to be careful with that. Alrighty, and then this skid plate will drop out of our way here in a second. So I kind of just will have a hand holding on it so it doesn't drop. So now we've got the skid plate for the motor, so I'll just set that right there. And if you do see, now since we've dropped out that skid plate, it does uncover another bolt here. So we'll have to loosen that up along with the other, so there's 3 on each side. So I'm gonna actually start out with the front end of it, because I like to have the front end drop a little bit, and it seems a bit easier for the cables to be unplugged. And again, with this, these have Loctite on them, so they will be pretty stiff. Kind of working my wrist right now. All right. So just give me 1 second while I get all these popped out. So yeah, if you do see, there will be blue Loctite on each of these. That is good to see from Aventon, so they are just kind of taking the extra precautions, which is nice. And then if you did notice, I've got the cranks removed on this bike. If you want to follow me over here, I have both of the cranks removed. That's honestly just so you guys can see a little bit better, so the pedals aren't covering anything that I'm trying to show you guys. And if you'd like, I can even make a video on that as well. But that's, really nothing too bad. Continue taking these out. And I'm actually gonna skip ahead once I get these all out. All right, so now that we've got all the bolts removed, there'll just be these last 2 Torx bolts. If you see now, the motor, the front end will drop down, making it a lot easier to get to these cables. So to unplug these cables, pretty much what I do is I just take all the slack out and then just unplug them like any other cable. Don't be alarmed. These are very, very stiff. So I'm actually not gonna remove these right now, just because we're just doing a quick tutorial. I'm actually putting this motor straight back in the bike, but you've got your yellow, your red, and then your black, and that will all match up. And then right here, you just squeeze in these two prongs right there, and this will pop up. This one's very easy to remove. These three are a little bit stiffer than others. So then we'll just kind of go through how to reassemble everything. I'll just show you, just to show you, we'll pop these guys out. And like I said, every single one of them has Loctite, so they are pretty stiff, even at the last couple of threads. That one will pull out. I'll just go do this last one. And don't be worried, the motor can definitely kind of hang on a single bolt. It's really not the end of the world. So now, once you get to this point, you will want to support the motor as you're getting to the last couple of threads. Sometimes you can just use your fingers at the end. And like I said, do be prepared for the motor to kind of drop out, because now there's no more bolts holding it. And here's your motor. So I'm gonna pop this bolt straight back in. So as far as installing, reinstalling everything, I pretty much just repeat the process. Try to get the threads matched up the best you can just from your view. And then pop this screw right in. Sorry, it's kind of hard to grab some threads in this position. All right, sorry guys. All right, now we're in there. So you can just get a couple of threads in, and then you can have your motor sit like that. The biggest thing when you're putting everything back together is making sure that you're not crushing any cables, because these cables in here are pretty small, and they're not, if you were to, I'll just leave these out. But if you were to crush these cables, you're gonna have some problems. So you'll just kind of see that center ridge on the motor. I like to kind of run the cables on that ridge, pop everything in, and then we could start reassembling all of our bolts. And then you're just gonna put that cable cover over, and lastly the skid plate. We should be all good. Thanks so much, guys.